What's up, guys, and thanks for tuning back into Token Metrics. I'm Forrest Pribish, Senior Cryptocurrency Investment Analyst at Token Metrics, and in this video I want to talk about Dogecoin. More specifically, I want to construct some scenario models for where we could see Dogecoin's price get to or peak at this market cycle. Now, love it or hate it, you have to respect Dogecoin. It is a top 10 cryptocurrency now, and it has pumped this market cycle and very well may continue to pump. Now, if we're just looking at Dogecoin against the US dollar here, we can see that there is a trend line that is present. You could argue drawing this trend line a little bit lower, but I like to cut through some of the data and get multiple, find the trend line where multiple points of support have presented themselves over time. Now, there have been periods of undervaluation and overvaluation in this trend line. Usually Dogecoin goes relatively flat in bear markets, and then in bull markets it pumps, and then it goes flat again in the bear market, and in the bull market it's pumping again. Historically, we've seen overvaluations against this trend line as high as 600%, 2,000%, and currently 5,600% is where we recently peaked. Now, if you're to ask me, I'm personally not going anywhere near Dogecoin right now. It just does not fit my personal investment thesis. If it fits yours, that's fine. Could it continue to go higher? Certainly. Could it come crashing back down to this trend line? That's absolutely a possibility. Those are two possibilities that we're going to discuss here in a moment. But for me personally, I try to buy things when they're at or undervalued against their general trend line, their long-term trend line. Right now, Dogecoin is 5,600% overvalued against its trend line. That's usually a good time to take profits when something is overvalued against its trend line. So take that for what it's worth. Of course, it's not financial advice. But now let's take a look at Dogecoin's dominance. So if you're not familiar with dominance, dominance is just a measure of market share against the total cryptocurrency market cap, or the total amount of money in the cryptocurrency space right now. And recently, Dogecoin made a run at representing 3% of the total amount of cryptocurrency or money in cryptocurrency. Now, historically, we have seen a series of pumps where every time it comes back down to about 0.2% or so, it pops back up. We were a little bit undervalued against 0.2, maybe closer to 0.1 or so, and had several pumps throughout even the bear market. Now, we've recently seen a monumental pump, just an absolute massive pump for reasons that are outside of strict technical analysis. You've got Wall Street bets behind Dogecoin now. You've got Elon Musk tweeting about it and pumping it. So there are some external factors here that are contributing to this pump, but this is somewhat normal behavior for Dogecoin in the sense that it goes flat for quite a long time and then it pumps. Now, I have outlined six scenarios. Usually I only do 3 or 4, but I've outlined for Dogecoin 6 scenarios because Dogecoin is rather unpredictable. So I want to account for as many scenarios as possible, as well as demonstrate the risk associated with purchasing Dogecoin right now after it has recently pumped. So of course, Dogecoin could continue pumping throughout the rest of this bull market cycle and maybe make a run at going towards 4% of the total cryptocurrency market dominance or market share. But if it were to come back down to this 0.2% line of dominance that is historically held as support multiple times and has even shown resistance against multiple times, that is our bearish scenario. And it's a scenario that I think is distinctly possible in a bear market, despite the fact that Wall Street bets and Elon Musk have been pumping this. Despite the external factors, I do think it is a distinct possibility for Dogecoin to fall back down to these levels in a bear market. I also think it's a distinct possibility that it could continue to pump higher and much higher in the bull market. So now, before we construct our scenarios, we need to, or our matrix, we need to take a look at total cryptocurrency market cap, which is currently at about $2 trillion or so, just under $2 trillion at the time of taking this screenshot. And you can see the total cryptocurrency space, or all the money in the cryptocurrency space, has been growing at an exponential pace. I know it's an exponential pace because this is on a logarithmic scale going up, and we're on a linear trend line. Now, occasionally we see parabolic separations against this trend line where we see overvaluations against the trend line. We're currently in one of those bull market overvaluations. Historically, we've seen 1,600% and 2,600% overvaluations. If we were to, well, currently we're at about a 300% overvaluation, but if we were to continue on this trend and get to a $10 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap by July or August or so, that would only be a 1,400% overvaluation against the trend line, which is in line with what we've seen in the past. So you could even make the argument, and I've seen some decent analysis showing that a $13 to $15 trillion market, a total cryptocurrency market cap, is possible this market cycle, but I think $10 trillion is a more reasonable bullish scenario. If we just stay on this trend line until July or so, we'd be at a $5 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap. And I've also built in a more bearish $3 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap scenario for our matrix. So here's our Dogecoin scenario matrix with our different market dominances plugged in on our left side and our total cryptocurrency market cap scenarios on the top here. And if we just multiply these out and then divide by the total number of Doge tokens or Doge coins in circulation right now, then we can get a price prediction. Now, keep in mind, Dogecoin does have particularly high inflation. I believe it's around 4% per year. So I did build in about 100 days of inflation into these into this price model. Just assuming that this bull market can, give or take last another 100 days or so, hopefully. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more, but I think 100 days is a fair estimate to build in a little bit of inflation since Dogecoin does have higher than average inflation rates. All right, so our bearish scenario would be if we fell back down, and this is probably more, maybe not market peak here. This is more of a bear market scenario. I don't think it's going to drop down to 0.2%, but I wanted to build this scenario model in. I don't think it's going to drop down to 0.2% by the time the market peaks, right? But I just wanted to build this scenario in to show you how low the price could go, even with high total cryptocurrency market cap scenarios, if it were to fall back down to 0.2% in a bear market. So you can kind of just ignore this top row here. This is just kind of a row of caution against anybody who feels like maybe they're missing out on the Dogecoin trade or the Dogecoin rally. There is significant risk to holding Dogecoin long term through a bull market, because in the bear market, it usually crashes back down historically. Now, we do have 0.5%, which I actually do think is more of a reasonable thing that could manifest this market cycle for Dogecoin. And in our $3 trillion market cap scenario, that would result in a fall back down to 11 cents. I don't think that's out of the question. If Dogecoin runs out of steam and they can't rally and people see value in non-meme coin cryptocurrencies and don't want to miss out on that, I could see Dogecoin falling down to 11 cents in a bearish scenario. Do I think that's the most likely scenario? No, but I do think it's distinctly possible even in the bull market. Now, our most bullish scenario over here is a 4% market dominance, where we get one or two more big Dogecoin pumps and maybe we peak at 4% market dominance. And that would result in the most bullish scenario of our total cryptocurrency market cap going to $10 trillion. That would result in a $3.06 Dogecoin. Now, that I don't believe is highly likely either, but I do think it is distinctly possible. If you said a year ago, if anybody thought Dogecoin would reach 45 cents, they'd have laughed at you. Now, obviously, a $1 Dogecoin is clearly on the table. It could happen. It's just a matter of if the Dogecoin bulls can continue to rally and pump this up further. Now, again, I don't think $3.06 is possible or is probable, but it is plausible. It is plausible. I don't think that it would be smart to underestimate what Dogecoin could potentially do in a $10 trillion market cap scenario for the total cryptocurrency space. All right, so we also have some more reasonable scenarios here in the middle, maybe 1% and a market dominance and a $5 trillion market cap. That would put us down at about 38 cents, or up compared to where we're at right now, but down compared to where Dogecoin has peaked this market cycle. But up at 2% again, we'd get a 76-cent Dogecoin, and up at 3%, we'd get about a $1.15 Dogecoin for a $5 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap. Now, I've got the same data here, just in a chart view as opposed to a table view. Some people prefer charts to tables. We've got our $10 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap scenario in green, with our corresponding Dogecoin market dominance is at the bottom. Our $5 trillion scenario that I personally think is the most likely scenario this market cycle, though 10 trillion is certainly on the table, but we've got our $5 trillion in yellow, and we've got our $3 trillion bearish, more conservative market cycle if we're closer to the top than we actually think we are, in red here. I've also put this same data into a logarithmic view, just because on this view, this linear view, it is difficult to read the numbers down here. So I went ahead and made a logarithmic view of the same data. These are the same numbers. It's just a different scaling mechanic on the side here on the y-axis, so that you can actually read these numbers. Now, of course, everybody has their own personal opinion about Doge. So take mine for what it's worth. You may value it, you may not value it. That's up to you. That's for you to decide. But if you had to ask me, Forrest, what are your scenarios? What are your favorite scenarios for Dogecoin this market cycle? I would say bearish. We fall back down to 23 cents. We don't get much higher. We don't get another Dogecoin rally. Realistic, I think if we get to a $5 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap, we could see Dogecoin go to 76 cents. It's already been to 45 cents. I don't think 76 cents is asking for much more out of it, especially as explosive as it's been. And in a bullish scenario, I do think that that the Dogecoin bulls could rally again. Dogecoin has really showed no signs of weakness so far. Obviously, it does have some pretty deep corrections, but it has continued to rally over and over again. You've got Wall Street bets behind it. You've got Elon Musk behind it. In a bullish scenario, I could see it going over $1, even maybe to $1.53. Again, I know some Dogecoin bulls might be upset with me for only saying $1.53. I did say $3.06 is possible. Do I think that's likely? No. Do I think there's better investments out there? Absolutely. Am I invested in Dogecoin? No, not right now. It doesn't fit my investment thesis. If it does drop down back down to its trend line in a bear market, I'll actually pick some up for potentially the next bull market. And I'll sit on it patiently for maybe 3 or 4 years. Will I be picking up a lot? Probably not. So that's my personal opinions on the matter. Take them for what they're worth. Whether you value them or not is up to you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this video was informational and helpful. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.